What are the best sports for kids with ADHD? Well, I haven't found a best sport for kids with ADHD, but in this video, I'm going to share what sports I found kids with ADHD tend to be successful with and what sports I find that they tend to struggle with. Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm going to give you some real help right now. Before we get started, let me preface this video by explaining this. Lots of kids with ADHD like being active and like sports. However, they don't like sports that are really competitive. So if your child is one of those, try to find sports that are more recreational and are not about being competitive and focused on winning. So if your child is the type that does like playing sports but is not into the competition, in a lot of communities, they do have more recreational type sports for kids that might work out really well for your child. Let me get started with younger kids, elementary school age, and I want to tell you the sports I tend to see elementary school kids not be successful with. For much younger kids, like kindergarten, first grade age, I see a lot of them not be successful with soccer because soccer requires a lot of situational awareness. So if they're not following the ball, then it's hard for them to really be part of the game. And a lot of times what I find is they're just kind of out in space when they're on the soccer field, and that's often not the best sport for them. Another one that I find is not great for younger kids is baseball. The reason why is there's a lot of downtime in baseball. So when they're sitting around during that unstructured time, they tend to get in trouble. I will tell you, I've even found that's the case with some older kids with ADHD as well. That downtime in baseball tends to present a problem. The other sport I tend to see kids with ADHD not do real well with is basketball because basketball is a contact sport. So often when basketball gets a little rough, kids with ADHD who have a propensity to be emotionally reactive do not really do well in basketball. Now, keep in mind, this is not applicable to every child with ADHD. Kids with ADHD can do great in any of these sports if they enjoy them. I'm just sharing with you as a general rule what sports I have seen kids with ADHD be successful with and what sports they have not been successful with. In terms of the sports I've seen kids with ADHD be successful with, well, number one is swimming. A lot of kids with ADHD really enjoy swimming. That being said, I've seen kids with ADHD not really enjoy competitive swimming because competitive swim meets tend to be really long. And I have worked with some kids who have gotten into trouble at competitive swim meets because, again, it's that long, unstructured time that is difficult for them. Gymnastics is another one. I've seen a lot of kids with ADHD do well in, boys as well as girls. And a lot of gymnastics places now also have what's called Ninja Warrior. Some also have what's called parkour. I've seen a lot of kids with ADHD really enjoy that. And those are two that I recommend a lot, Ninja Warrior and parkour. For older kids with ADHD, I've seen some sports that you probably wouldn't normally think of work out really well for kids. One of them is ultimate frisbee. I've seen a lot of kids play ultimate frisbee at their school. And another one I've seen work out really well actually is bowling. So I've worked with kids who are on a competitive bowling league. Again, keep in mind that any child with ADHD can be successful in any of the sports I mentioned, and any child with ADHD might not be successful in any of the sports I mentioned. The only way you're going to find that out is exposing them to new experiences and letting them try things even when they might protest a little bit and say they don't want to try something. It's really important we expose kids to new experiences because that's how they find out what they're good at. And remember, kids with ADHD have a propensity to say no to anything new or unfamiliar because they're often worried they're not going to be good at something. So that doesn't mean we just say, okay, you don't have to try it then. We still need to step into our parental authority and expose them to new experiences because they never know what they're going to enjoy or what they might really have a talent in. Last thing, if your child's not into sports, totally fine. What I suggest is find an activity, ideally one where they're working in a team with other kids or it's some kind of collaborative activity. I think that's really important for kids with ADHD rather than doing an activity where they're just sitting in front of some kind of screen. I hope this is helpful. Please make sure to check out the various playlists at the ADHD Dude YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you soon.